See how long it takes. Oh, I'm live. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on X. We got it going now. We have a lot we want to talk about today because there's a lot going on, right? And we see now, I do believe. All right. Let me make sure I turn the volume off here. Okay, there we go. I like to make sure I have both my machines going so I can see what's going on the YouTube. But anyway, so now we are really witnessing how basically the immigrants are like, they're going to take over America. They're going to do whatever they got to do, right? The democratic socialists. We got, the Arabs now are stepping up, and we got now a local state governments giving them preferences because of their religion. We got a lot going on, you all, and they're all going against our president, our present government. Can we all not see now? But anyway, before we get into it, I have some announcements. Right? So let me share my screen because it's important. These two announcements are very important. I want you all, I'll post them. Well, one is already posted on my website, but I will be posting the rest of these out for everyone to be able to see. But we're talking about trades, we're talking about jobs for our people, and there is some things opening up for us, okay, in the trades. I received this information out networking on TikTok. I appreciate the gentleman. He let us know, he gave us this vital information. And this is the type of information we need to be sharing with one another. This is the type of information that we know we should be disseminating so that our people understand what exactly is happening and what's going on. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let me make sure on YouTube on the other side, but I want you all to see this. Okay. I posted it out on X so people could get it. I want our people to get it. And I know most of my followers on X or TikTok are us. Okay. And when I say us, I mean freedmen, Black Americans. So it's still generating over here on the YouTube channel, but I want you all to see this, right? This is what we're talking about. Jobs. And not, look at the pay rate, right? This isn't no $25 an hour. This is for $40 to $56 per hour, $123 to $135 per diem. Dang, okay, still loading on YouTube. But I want you all to get this information and disseminate it. And, the thing about it is some people say, well, that's not our area or in my area. Hey, when you're young and you don't have a family yet, or you haven't built out your family, you can move around, and start a career. This is it. They're seeking out welders, welder helpers, electricians, pipe fitters, general helpers. Now, right now, they're talking about project locations in Port Arthur, Texas, and Pecos, Texas. Okay? But these are jobs. These are jobs, you all, trades that you can later on in your life decide you want to be an entrepreneur. There you go. You have gained skills. And look at what their starting pay is. This is not cheap labor. So when they all coming over here saying they coming over here for cheap labor. Okay, so again, this is information that needs to be disseminated. I will post it on the Freedman channel in the postings so everybody can get this information. And we need to disseminate it to our family members, to our youth that are seeking employment, that are graduating high school or have graduated high school and seeking employment. Okay? So this is what I'm talking about. This is vital information. I really appreciate the gentleman that gave me this information. He told me, hey, we're trying to hire all of these beings, and I've been trying to get this information out. I said, hey, you came to the right place, because we will make sure this information gets out to our people. Okay. So each one teach one. This is what this is all about. This is what we're doing. We're making sure this information gets out to our people so that they understand this is an opportunity. And it's, again, trades. What did we hear Trump talk about? We heard him talk about trades, did we not? And look at what's happening. Doors are opening up. I should make this a little bit bigger so you all can read it. I'll make it a little bit. I think maybe it won't be. Let's see. I might not can make it any bigger than what it is. Oh, there we go. Okay. This is a major announcement. Okay. This is something we can do to help our families right now begin to access wealth. Look at that pay rate. Okay. This is not $15, $25 an hour. And sometimes we may have to relocate. But you know what? I'll relocate. I've relocated plenty of places. For me to move, I don't have a problem with it. I come back. I'll be like, I come back home. I can come back home. That's what I say all the time, which I have done multiple times, you all. I lived in New York City, Minnesota, Georgia, Texas, Houston, Texas. I've been all around. I ain't even gonna sweat it, right? So with that, I wanted to make sure you all had that announcement, okay? So hold this one. Again, look at the information, pass it on, move it forward to our people. Right. The gentleman told me they were attempting to hire, I think, close to 20,000 people. And they're giving you an email address and everything, a phone number, everything to call so you can inquire. So I do believe he told me they're working out of Houston, Texas, Port Arthur, Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, and I think Cameron, Louisiana. Okay. So that's the first announcement. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for that one. And again, I will put it out on the Friedman channel, right? So, excuse me, my nose ring. So the other announcement is I'm going to share my screen again. I am working on a project with some ladies. We said, hey, this is a good opportunity. We have been already working together, and we were going to make this formal announcement. And you've seen it already on my channel. But I wanted to make sure it is announced here so you all understand what we're doing. So we, a group of us, we're business owners, Black American Negro freedmen women. We are business owners. And so we decided to come together to offer something for our community where we could have our own sort of like, beauty, health care, skin care, cosmetics, and wellness website distribution for our people where we're vetted. We want to have hairstylists, salon owners, spa owners in different areas. So then even if you're traveling, we could be used like a new modern green book if you want to set some appointments with nail techs, hairstylists, salons, spas, things of that nature. So right now we are crowdfunding. We decided we would crowdfund first, and then we will move on to making sure everything is set up. Okay. So just you can visit this website. Again, it's already out on the Friedman channel. I'm just putting it out there. We need your support. We can make this collective economics, just like we are now making sure that we visit only our Black American owned stores, hairstylists, nail techs, whatever. It's us, right? This is about our wealth transfer to our people and not others. So, and this is a part of what we're doing. This is another part of the projects that I have going ongoing with some of these ladies. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there. It is already on the website. But again, we're coming together collectively to move forward in our wealth transfer and doing some things for us in our community. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with us being, I like to say at this point in time, all about us self-prioritization, right? We must prioritize ourselves because as we get more and more into what I'm talking about today, they don't care about you. They don't even care to acknowledge our contributions to our country and our equity in this country. Right now, we have a lot of beings on this soil that is totally ignoring or using us as their wealth, building their wealth off of us. But we need to be insular and building our wealth amongst ourselves, right? Because at this point in time, it's not about sharing anything with us in America or acknowledging us as a founding population. Wait till I show you all what this other being said to me earlier today out on the internet on X. But anyway, okay, and we're going to really get into the agenda now. The agenda I have for us today. You see the title, and the title is Wake Up. Wake up. It's in your face. What's happening in America right now is all in your face. There's no excuse for us not to understand what's going on, right? Okay, so we know that Clarence Thomas, I'm going to find another video of him, but we know Clarence Thomas was very upset with the recent Supreme Court ruling about birthright citizenship. We know that he wrote a 91-page dissent. Well, when I went back to it, it was not only a 91-page dissent. He also, I do believe, Gorsuch, I think that's how you say his name, Gorsuch, also aligned with Clarence Thomas on his dissent. Okay, so with that, we want to look at that. We're going to go into that because it goes also into some of the things that we are noticing right now with the immigrant takeover, right? We're noticing that, you know what? They're now weaponizing our Constitution, reinterpreting it so that it aligns for the newcomers to come in and take over. And now, not only are we seeing it from the federal level, but we're also seeing it on the state and local levels, right? I'll get into it. I will drill down so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm not talking just to be talking. You all know I come with the evidence. I don't just talk. I'm coming with evidence. Okay. So with that, I wanted to show, I'm going to get into how Clarence Thomas wrote his dissent, and in that he put a lot of history in how the creation of the 14th Amendment and what it was meant for. And I think it's very important for us to acknowledge that Clarence Thomas is, hey, at this point in time, Clarence Thomas is not backing down. He's not backing down, and he's representing. At this point in time, Clarence is representing for us. Have any other Black leadership, that is representing for us. Okay, so we got some of our beings in the highest places or positions in the land. Right now, he's coming through, and we have to give him his flowers. Because you know what? We wouldn't have anybody else saving us at this point in time. Besides I will get into it, the president and his administration. They're standing on Americans first. And we're going to get into it because the president pulled out another stop on y'all. He an OG. I don't care what nobody says. Right now, Trump is an OG when he created those new executive orders just the other day. This is why we got to talk about it. Okay, I'm waiting for the video to come up over here on the YouTube channel so we can get into it. We can really get into it. Look what Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas says. He agrees. Oh, okay, come on now, YouTube. Why are you messing with me today? But anyway, look at what he says. Look at what Clarence Thomas says. Are you all getting this on the news? I don't know if you all are getting this on the news or not. But Clarence Thomas really breaks it down. He goes all in. And he says Black Americans, Blacks were entitled to citizenship because they were Americans. We are the Americans. And they had no other homeland. Where are we going to go? Everybody talking about you can go back to Africa. What, really? We don't. First of all, our ancestors they already gave our ancestors the choice to do that. And overwhelmingly, none of them was willing to go back to Africa, even during the American colonization, right? When they tried to, Abraham Lincoln thought he was going to get our people to go back. And our people was like, no. And remember, there's like 4 million of our people that were emancipated. Then there was like, I think a 500,000 somewhere in there that was free and not enslaved. But still, if they wasn't going back, why in the world are we going back now? But anyway, he says they had no other homeland because this is our ancestral soil now, right? We have no allegiance to any foreign power. We are not subject to other authority. And the same cannot be said for children of foreign temporary visitors. Okay, Clarence. Okay. Now that's an elder, right? Right now he's standing in that position on the Supreme Court as a freedman elder. Yes, he is. Now I'm gonna give him his props. Okay. We got to give Clarence Thomas his flowers. So with that, we're gonna get into how he gave a whole history lesson. Now I can't do the whole 91 pages. We know I can't do the whole 91 pages. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to highlight the first couple of pages of the dissent, so we can follow along with the. And they again, when we hear these immigrants talk about America was built by immigrants. That's first that we about, right? That they are like blatantly to our faces saying that immigrants built America. But hold on now, you know, if they built America, when were they in chattel slavery? I have some people now telling me there were some Chinese here enslaved and they're freedmen too. You know, the games people play to take us off this soil instead of really reading and or even just acknowledging, right, the real history. And you acknowledge the real history, then you get the truth. And there's no play in it. So here we're going to look at, let me make sure my computer is, make sure my computer is connected. Okay, don't want to lose power. Okay, so here we have his dissent, and Justice Thomas and Gorsuch, they both align, okay? So these are two of the justices that aligned and went against the six. They were the part of the three that went against the six that said, yes, that the 14th Amendment, any child born on this soil, we know that, right? So what I want you all to see, though, is he goes back to the Dred Scott. He talks about how we would have been permanently denied citizenship to us as Blacks, being subordinate and inferior class. Okay? I'm highlighting this for a reason, you all. Because right now, we have immigrants coming in this country that are attempting to make us a permanent underclass. You heard me. or permanent underclass because all they know is classism. Okay? Now, here we are. Congress overruled Dred Scott, first with the Civil Rights Act of 1866. And we know with the Civil Rights Act of 1866, it was utilized to create the 14th Amendment. Then they added the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment. So both the Civil Rights Act and the citizenship clause guaranteed citizenship to persons born and domiciled in the United States, regardless of their race. Neither guaranteed citizenship to persons who were not domiciled in the United States. And so he goes in to explain Blacks were entitled to citizenship because they were Americans. They had no other homeland. They owed no allegiance to any foreign power and were subject to no other authority. They fought. This is what I like right here. This is what I like right here. Because he said we fought and bled, right? Our ancestors fought for this, for us. So why in the world would we allow others to come over here on our soil and attempt to dictate to us who we are as Americans? Our ancestors already did that. They already did that work for us. There's no reason why in 2026 people should be questioning our Americanness, our citizenship, because it's already been bought and paid for. That's the way I look at it, right? So we got this, and now he says they fought and bled in the same battles, gained and gloried in the same victories, and were liable to be called upon to defend America in a time of war along every other citizen. So the citizenship clause thus guaranteed them the dignity and glory of American citizenship so as to ensure that they would never be treated as second class under the law. Okay, all right. I had to get through to that. Why are we sitting up here subjugating ourselves to some immigrants? Why are we sitting up here trying to fight for them to be on this soil to receive certain things that they have not fought for and they're not entitled to? They don't have any equity in this country to receive what we have or what is ours. So why is it that we have our own Black leadership out here fighting for these beings and talking about equality, and they have not did the work? Okay, that's where I'm at. Until they can do the work like we have done the work, they can't be American to me. I'm not accepting them as Americans. So here he's quoting the Plessy versus Ferguson, right? And then he goes on to say, the same cannot be said for the children of foreign temporary visitors. Foreign temporary visitors were attached to their home country, lacked similar bonds to this country, and would not be called upon in a time of war. What he said, okay? These people are not going to go to war for America. Okay, yeah, I see you, Eric. Exactly. None of these Black leadership is representing us right now. None of them. It is a grand conspiracy. And I love the Trump administration because they're getting down to the nitty gritty of it. And I love it because you know what? I support Trump in prosecuting all of them. Not only just our Black leadership, but all of them. Okay, Fauci, Obama, Hillary Clinton, Russiagate, get them all. Even those in Congress right now, Ilhan Omar, AOC, Ayanna Pressley, any of them in Congress right now going against this administration and our federal laws, harboring, sheltering, transporting illegals, aliens. That's against our federal laws in the Immigration Naturalization Act. We're going to get to it because we're going to talk about how in that Clarence Thomas, even in the affirmative action case, that he does clarify who is black, right? With Freedman. And we want to talk about how the again, the executive orders. We're gonna get into it, okay? But we have to set the stage right now, and understanding that Clarence Thomas spoke up for us at a very pivotal moment in our history. He did not cower like we see black leadership is doing right now. Okay, so let me get back to it. Foreign temporary visitors who were attached to their home country, lacked similar bonds to this country, and would not be called upon in a time of war. Americans, consistent with their settler ethos, believed that citizens were the people who called a place a home. So accordingly, domicile is a person's legal home, and it played a key role in both the state and national citizenship in America. A person who was a citizen of the state where he had his domicile. So, okay, and you see him quoting some things from the actual case. When foreigners temporarily visited, their national character was unchanged. So we see, you all, I'm pointing these things out because when I get into a little bit more about how we see the immigrant takeover, I'm going to show you a video. I'm going to show you a video of an ethnic group of beings, immigrants, that are declaring themselves, their heritage on our soil, and it's not American. They're not declaring that they're Americans. They're declaring, you know what? My heritage and my people are from this land that has nothing to do with America. This is why I want to go over these first couple of pages. So you can connect the dots. Okay, so he says when foreigners temporarily visited, their national character was unchanged. Such foreigners were strangers, not subjects. A person born here but domiciled in a foreign land was therefore considered as much a stranger to this country as his father. Okay? So that is why when Dred Scott went to court, he argued that to be a citizen, it is only necessary that he should have acquired a domicile, meaning that he had been on this land, he was already here, he was living here. Where else was there for him to go? After this court held that Scott was not a citizen because he was black, Republicans in Congress, and this is why I say I'm a radical Republican. I have no problem, no shame, no guilt, because my ancestors were Republicans. And it was the Republicans that really supported our ancestors after emancipation and freedom. And after the Civil War, after we really, right, our ancestors were called upon to support the Union, right? To support the Union to overcome and beat out the Confederates, you all. So with that, again, we fought for our freedom. Our ancestors fought for our freedom, free and enslaved. So then again, right, we saved America. It's always us. It's always us. But anyway, so he's saying again, a person here but domiciled in a foreign land was therefore considered as much a stranger to this country as his father. So after this court held that Scott was not a citizen, again, the Republicans, Representative John Bingham stated that a person was a citizen if he was born and domiciled in the United States. Now, we know that a lot of these beings that are coming here today have fraudulently received American citizenship. We know that. So Scott was a citizen in their view because he was born to Americans, not temporary sojourners. As Frederick Douglass had put it, the freedom sought citizenship not as aliens nor as exiles, but as Americans. You all, he went all the way back to Frederick Douglass. He included Frederick Douglass, right, in this. So let me see. I'm going to make sure my YouTube is going. I want you all to understand that in this moment, we are seeing some things play out where these foreigners they don't have an allegiance to America. They do not have an allegiance to America. They still have an allegiance to their foreign land as they wave their flags on our soil. And then on top of that, they think they can come over here and talk crazy to us because they have an American, they're citizens of America. But Congress implemented the principle that citizenship follows birth and domicile in the Civil Rights Act of 1866. And then in the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment, the Civil Rights Act guaranteed citizenship to persons who were born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power. So the phrase "not subject to any foreign power" excluded from citizenship children of foreign temporary visitors who were subject to the power of their home nation. Right? Okay. So again, any of these beings that have been born on this soil that don't have any parents and their parents are still foreigners, strangers, citizenship or whatever, allegiance to a foreign nation, how is it that they're able to have a citizen in America? They don't even live here, right? So the Citizenship Clause, which the same Congress passed shortly after the Civil Rights Act, was understood to have the same meaning. It guaranteed citizenship to persons who were both born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, which is the United States. And the domicile was the foundation of the person, right? The domicile was here in America. So again, he quotes and he talks about the law of nations. So the government of a person's domicile had broad power over that person, including with respect to his personal affairs, his conduct abroad, his personal taxes, and the mutual duties of protection and allegiance. Okay, I wanted to go to this part again because in the 14th Amendment, we are supposed to be protected. Right? Are we not supposed to be protected? I do believe we're supposed to be protected via the 14th Amendment. And so we're going to hold this. We're going to hold all of this because we have the Supreme Court, one of our own in the Supreme Court of the United States, that is a part of the law. And he is stating this information to you all blatantly. There should be no reason why we're confused right now about utilizing our status as freedmen. That's another reason why I wanted to highlight this. Because I have a great deal of beings trying to tell me we can't utilize freedman status at this point in time. And we all know that's a lie. Because even your Supreme Court justice is talking about it. Okay? So, and then you got recent cases with the Cherokee freedmen, where the Cherokee Nation is acknowledging Cherokee freedmen. So as long as the freedman status is being talked about and being utilized in legislation today, and a lot of it is coming right now actively from the nations. I think the Creek Nation, the Black Creeks or the Creek Freedmen, they have their case and they won their case. So we know that the Five Civilized Tribes treaties align with the United States Constitution because they were abolishing slavery. So they had to align, their treaties had to align with the United States Constitution, hence the 14th Amendment, you all. So let's understand this history. So the Citizenship Clause, which the same Congress passed shortly after the Civil Rights Act, was understood to have the same meaning: guaranteed citizenship to persons born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction. So let me get back to the allegiance, right? So as the senator who introduced the Citizenship Clause explained, The word jurisdiction, as here employed, ought to be construed so as to imply full and complete jurisdiction. The same jurisdiction in extent and quality as applies to every citizen of the United States. So the citizenship clause was consistently interpreted to the citizenship clause was consistently interpreted not to apply to the children of foreign temporary visitors who were by definition not domiciled in the United States. Regardless of the administration or party, the federal government for decades after ratification regularly denied claims to citizenship to children who were born in the United States, y'all, but not domiciled here. Okay? So I'm highlighting this again to show you all how the immigrant takeover is happening. And they're now attempting to weaponize our doctrine, the Constitution, our 14th Amendment against us and utilize it, as Clarence Thomas states, they're repurposing our 14th Amendment so that illegals can come to this soil and claim citizenship. And he's stating here that has never been done before. That was not what it was created for. When a child was born in the United States to parents domiciled abroad, he was not therefore under the statute of the Constitution a citizen of the United States by birth. Come on, y'all. And he has quoted 1885. I know they want to talk about Wong Kim Ark. Doesn't matter. His parents were domiciled here. Again, Wong Kim Ark's parents were domiciled here, but you know what? I do believe they still were not they still were working under the Chinese government. For some reason, I can't remember. I want to say they were still a part of the Chinese government. So really, Wong Kim Ark wasn't supposed to be let back into the country either. But anyway, a child born within the territory of the United States of alien parents was not a citizen unless his parents were permanently domiciled within the United States. That was the issue. Okay? So again, the court agreed the citizenship clause excluded from its operation children of citizens of subjects of foreign states born within the United States. And there he quotes the slaughterhouse cases, and Congress agreed. The citizenship clause did not extend to child born here, but subject to any foreign entity. Okay, so the court offers a different account. American citizenship, the court says, were based on medieval English feudal principles according to which person is owed personal service. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there because we know that they now are moving the goalposts. How are we going from what was created here in America, right, under our system, under our government's jurisdiction, now skips over what we did here in America with our Constitution and goes over to England again? Y'all see the connection? All of a sudden, it's English law ruling in America when didn't they fight American Revolutionary War to separate from England and do their own thing? So why is it now we're still being tied to England and we've been in existence for 250 years and we have our own constitution? Do you all see the play here? Do you all see how this is not adding up? Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna stop the sharing, and we're gonna get into it. We really gonna get into how some of these beings on this soil, and I'm gonna go to this case. I'm going to the fair admissions, or I'm going to something that Clarence Thomas stated before about from the Fair Admissions Act, the case. Give me a second. I'm gonna bring it up. I want to bring this up because we have right now, it is known that even after our ancestors fought for affirmative action for our people, for their children, right? One, to right the wrongs of some of the things that happened in Jim Crow, from employment and discrimination that they experienced, that the Civil Rights Act came about. We were not receiving our resources, our capital as we should. So then, they said, hey, we're going to fight for this. Took us, our ancestors, 15 to 20 years, if I'm correct. And now we have those that have contributed nothing to America, that are now saying that, you know what, this is for them because it's all about equality. But I want to get to, let me see if I can get to this quote that Clarence Thomas, let me get to my media. Clarence Thomas spoke about regarding how, again, he spoke in the Fair Admissions Act, how affirmative action and Black, right? We got to talk about Black, how they're using Black to cosplay, tether in our identity as us, which Black is race. And we know that we don't, in the Fair Admissions Act, they speak about how race, the Constitution is race neutral. And we know the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments were added. And you just heard them talk about how Blacks in the Civil Rights, the Civil Rights Act of 1866, it was created for our people under freedmen, right? It ended up being freedmen because of the Emancipation Proclamation. But I wanted to show you what he says. Let's see, why am I? Interesting. Okay, bookmarks. I wanted to go to my bookmarks. Here we go. And show how Clarence Thomas defined freedmen, so that we understand that even in that case, the Fair Admissions Act, he defines freedmen. And in that clarifies our status. And it's not just, we're not using Black, right? We're not using race. So that shows the differences. We played where even Ketanji Brown Jackson talks about freedmen, right? But she's not, she said in the dissent that our ancestors fought for all these immigrants, y'all. She says our ancestors fought for immigrants to be able to come over here and have exactly what we got. Now, I don't believe that. I believe my ancestors were fighting for us. They didn't even think of nothing about any other immigrants. So, where is this clip? Every time I want to find something on X, all of a sudden it's hard for me to find it, and I get upset. And I can't open up all of these tabs on the computer, because then it would be crazy and it drains the energy. But anyway, I was going to my profile. Let me see if I can get it from my profile. And I want to show you where Clarence Thomas literally, again, he defines freedmen in the Fair Admissions Act. He states that all Blacks in America were not enslaved. And freedmen is a by proxy, under-inclusive by proxy for race. And I'm going to continue to reiterate this, because we have so many on the soil now that want to tell us about our lineage. They don't know the history. Oh, you can't be American Indian. How you know we can't have American Indian ancestry when we've been here with the American Indians forever and a day? How you gonna come over here and tell me what my people are? Oh boy, they doing all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff here in America. Let's see. Videos, postings, photos. Okay, here we go. I can find it here. So I'm going to share what Clarence Thomas said. Oh, and then you all, I even got anthropologists. They did a whole study on us back in 1915, but they started the study like in 1898 or something like that. But they did a whole study on our genetics, you all, and they acknowledged the American Indian genetics even during that time. So when I hear people gonna tell us that we can't be, we don't have any American Indian lineages and things of that nature, we have got to get rid of these beings. I'm over it. You don't get to come here and try to dictate to me and my people. No, you're not. Okay, let me see. I'm scrolling. I'm gonna get to it, but we're gonna talk about this because Clarence Thomas, and I'm gonna keep talking about Clarence Thomas, is coming in for the clutch. He is making sure that he documents, stands up, and make sure the world knows that no, Black Americans are the Americans up in here, right? And we deserve any and everything on this soil. But what we're witnessing right now is that everybody's coming over here trying to take everything that is ours, because none of them deserve anything in this country because they didn't work for it. So they don't want to address slavery and reparations. One thing we can say, our ancestors worked for everything we got over here. You didn't. And therefore nothing is owed to you. Nothing is yours to claim. Okay, I will show this pic. As I'm scrolling through, I want to show you all this because I posted this as well. I have the book here. My mother used to keep encyclopedias in the home. And when I was growing up, you all, we had all of the ebony encyclopedias. So somehow I got one of them now. My mother says my brother has the other one, but the other two volumes, encyclopedias of ebony. And I want you all to see this. I'm like, this is so great to have this history, because you see how they're trying to rewrite the history, right? They're trying to say, we hear them saying America was built by immigrants. Okay, so let's see. Is it over here on YouTube? Can you all see? This is a blast from the past. I want to make sure it's up on the YouTube channel. But I want you all to see this. This was in the ebony. I have the book. Oh, hold on. I can get the book. It's the volume. Oh, here we go. Okay. It's the volume 3 of the Ebony Pictorial History of Black America. This was published. Here's the book. Can you all see? Maybe not. Hold on. I'll stop. It's not on the screen yet. I will show this book. Okay, here's the book. Can you all, with my background, you might not can see the book. Oh, I see y'all can see it on YouTube. But over here on my background on X, you might not see the full book. But I want you all to see this book. Okay, you see, this is volume 3. And my mother bought all of these volumes for us, right? And I have even the world encyclopedias. We have all of those old encyclopedias. I kept some of them because then we can go back and look in this history and make sure that they're not changing up things, which they are. We know they're changing up things. So with Trump and the Smithsonian, I agree with Trump. I had friends to go to the Smithsonian. I've been to the Smithsonian, the African American History Museum, the recent one, right, in DC. You all, they're including Latinos and LGBTQ in that history in our museum. Why? Why? We are not Latinos. No Latinos was marching in civil rights. Not on the level that we were, right? Or doing anything. If they did anything, they had to come along with us. So why is it that we have now, they're trying to team us up with Latinos? Because there wasn't no Latinos in the Emancipation Proclamation. There were no Latinos in the Civil Rights Act of 1866 or the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments. So how all of a sudden now we including Latinos in our history? Y'all hear me? Look at the play. Look at the play. Go out and look at the Smithsonian African American Museum of Culture and look and see they are now including LGBTQIA along with Latino X. That's not our history. Okay? So I'm with Trump. I'm with Trump. He's really doing a lot of work to help us. And we got to understand, we got some good support from this administration. And we can't miss our opportunity in leveraging what is ours so that nobody else can get it at this point in time. We got to be smart, right? So I want you all to see this. If you can see, can you see it? I hope y'all can see it over there on the YouTube channel. I posted this page specifically so you all could see that they honored Frederick Douglass for 100 years. This is Ebony magazine. In the 100-year anniversary of the Emancipation Proclamation. And they held it at the White House with John F. Kennedy. Yes, it's in this book. It's all in here. Okay? Pictures. No one can say that didn't happen. No one can say it did not happen. Okay? So Emancipation Proclamation, I had somebody tell me, again, Chinese were freedmen. They were enslaved on this soil too. And there are Chinese freedmen. There are, I guess, other freedmen as well on this soil. Y'all help me out. I don't know what these people be talking about. I don't know where they're getting their history either. But to me, it's a sign that they're not us. That's the way I look at it. Some ain't right in the sauce. Somebody lying. And it ain't us. Okay. All right. So I wanted to make sure, I don't know if it came up yet over on the YouTube channel, but I wanted to make sure you all saw that. I have this book. I will be sharing more photos from that book. I think it's important for us to go back and look at some of our history and see how it's been distorted right now. A lot of our history is, they're attempting to distort our history. Here is the studies, you all. I'm just scrolling down until I get to where I want to go with Clarence Thomas. But these are two studies that they did on our people, even back in 1915, 1944, that they talk about our genetics and how we're new humankind because of our ethnogenesis through chattel slavery. And we are an admixture, amalgamation of various admixtures of American Indian, Europeans, mostly British, it says, and then along with that, some African tribes. Okay? So when you people trying to tell us who we are and we don't have no American Indian, and yes, a lot of us do, because also the American Indians were all enslaved together, miscegenation. We were building and cohabitating on this soil before the English settlers even got here. So I have no problem with people saying that they have American Indian ancestry. Now, my whole genealogy is not American Indian. I'm not going to say that. There's no way I can't even say that. Even here, they talk about how we're an admixture of different, various tribes from Africa, various tribes from American Indians. Okay? And I want to reiterate, they're saying American Indian in these studies. They're not saying Native Americans. They're saying American Indian. Okay? I see you, Eric, over there on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you. So let's clarify that right there. Okay? They've already done these studies. So when they talk about do your DNA, it's already been done. And now we got some people now stepping outside of the collective and doing other things, but that don't make them us. I'm sorry. That don't make them us. I know I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. We're not about to claim Hakeem Jeffries that is part Cape Verdean as American freedmen. No, we're not. And do you see him doing anything for American freedmen right now? Real quiet, isn't he? He hasn't said anything. He's really quiet. Okay, I'm gonna continue to scroll. Oh, well, here's another study where I posted this, where they basically say that, you know what, we're different from Black Americans. Ethnicity, race, lineage, culture, identity is indigenous to the United States of America. That's another study on our DNA. You ain't got to go take these DNA tests. Don't let nobody, they only for entertainment purposes only anyway, but don't let nobody try to swindle you to make you think you something that you're not. Okay? Y'all know we bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I'm the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. All right, Elder. Well, she's an ancestor, Dr. Maya Angelou. Okay, so I post that. Let me get to, I done posted so many things, you all. I apologize. Y'all see me out here in them Twitter streets acting a fool. But anyway, you see here, I posted how the census from 1790 to 2010. I think they've updated this now. They even have a graphic online where you can see how we have been here from the very beginning. Free and enslaved. Okay? All of this comes together in the fact that we have so many on this soil now trying to check us on our lineage, trying to tell us that, oh, I'm American, more American than you. Yeah, I had a lady try to tell me from Latin America that she only been here for 20 years, that she's more American than me. Yeah. Okay, y'all know, y'all see this, right? Cape Verdean, his Cape Verdean grandparents, Hakeem Jeffries is not our people. He's not our people. I don't know nobody say. We don't fly flags of other nations. But anyway, we wanted to get to the Clarence Thomas, and then I'm gonna move on to the birthright citizenship EOs by the president. That's where I'm going. But as you all see, I'll be posting all kinds of stuff out here on X to fact check. I like to fact check people because they just be talking. And I like to make sure that they understand the history. Again, always speaking from facts. Okay, let's see. Let me get to it. That's us building the White House. They want to claim we ain't build nothing in America. You'll hear that. But I want to get to the Clarence Thomas. How American are you? I like this one because we know we grade A. We make America great. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Let me see if I can find the Clarence Thomas statement that I posted where he talks about, well, we have our great ancestor. Even the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, we know nothing about Africa, although our roots are in terms of our forebears. But I mean, as far as the average Negro today, He knows nothing about Africa. And I think he's got to face the fact that he is an American. His culture is basically American, and one becomes adjusted to this when he realizes what he is. All right. Even the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King coming up here in 2026, letting us know, right? We have that documentation. So we got all these beings, right? They're going to tell you that all of a sudden, Africa, we're African. Oh my goodness. Do I have that many posts? I'm sorry, you all. I'm up here scanning, but I wanted to get to that post before I stop sharing, because we're going to get into we'll get into the actual, let me stop sharing. I haven't gotten to it. We'll get into the actual executive orders from the president, because in the executive orders from the president, he goes all in. He says, I'm going to use what the Supreme Court used, and I'm going to show y'all how I can do this under the Immigration Naturalization Act. And when he does that under the Immigration Naturalization Act, now the people also want to go back to the Supreme Court and have the Supreme Court to try to hinder him from using those executive orders that he just wrote. It's crazy how they're pulling out all stops to try to to keep the immigrants on the soil to take over in our federal, local, state governments. This is a coup d'etat in a full-fledged, you all. It's in full effect. Here it is, family founded. Let me share my screen again, because we got to give Clarence Thomas his flowers. We have given Clarence Thomas flowers because he is right. And he's not standing, we got to let him know he's not standing alone. We here with him. He's not standing alone. Okay, let's see how long this takes to upload over here on the YouTube channel. But again, here's an excerpt from Clarence Thomas. This is during his opinion in the Fair Admission Act, that ruling, where he goes in and he specifically talks about the Freedmen and the Freedmen-Bureau Act of 1866. And I want our people to understand, as we move forward in our politics, in our legislation, because of what is happening on this soil, we have got to get out of using race and use our status. Now, don't get me wrong. Our race can still, or our race and ethnicity, let me put it this way. Our race and ethnicity can still come under freedmen. But you cannot stand alone on race or ethnicity right now. And we see how many of these others are attempting to operate in our race, in our ethnicity, and then at the same time claim their heritage to another nation. We see this. This is what's happening with the other humiliated immigrants on this soil. They are literally operating in our identity to receive our resources, our capital, while at the same time, they're going to wave their flags, have their independence days on this soil, and they're not in their country, and have the citizenship. They may be trying. I see half never equals whole. Hey, maybe they are, but they're not going to be successful. There's no way we should allow them that much space. We got to come at them. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, we're time wasting," or we shouldn't be attacking them. Hey, I'm working behind the scenes on the ground, but at the same time, you're not going to attack me online and then behind my back in real life, behind my back. You're doing these things. We know you're doing these things because of what's coming up now. We know that even after affirmative action, our ancestors fought for this, for rectifying the wrongs and harms against our people. And now we have white women, LGBTQ, and Asians, minorities, which also includes the humiliated immigrants that have been getting into the Ivies. The Ivies our ancestors built, that we're supposed to be, our children supposed to be able to attend. They are literally selecting the Africans and the Caribbeans over our children. Okay? It's been studied. This is why we have the fair missions. This is why this came about, because they were using black, right? The race. And in using race, they were making sure the Africans and the Caribbeans received spots at these Ivies and not our children. Our children is still very, our descendants, right? Our children, our offspring are not getting in, but they are getting in off of our backs after all the work, again, that our ancestors did for us. Has nothing to do with them. So I will read what's up on the screen now. I think it's over here on the YouTube channel. Yes, they are economic. They are. You're correct, Eric. And that's why we have to make sure we delineate. Eric says over here on YouTube, they're attacking us economically and with lawfare. And that's exactly what's happening. I'm going to show you how now they're making spaces for these immigrants, Arab immigrants, because they are the Muslim faith. And they now want to make sure that they have political power in America or political representation. But anyway, let me get to this. It says, here's an excerpt from SCOTUS, and this is just an excerpt that I took, right? The 1866 Freedmen's Bureau Act then expanded upon the prior year's law, authorizing the Bureau to care for all loyal refugees and freedmen, right? And he states the statute. Importantly, however, the acts apply to freedmen and the refugees, a formally race-neutral category, not blacks writ large. And because not all blacks in the United States were former slaves, freedmen was a decidedly under-inclusive proxy for race. So here he gives another citation. The Freedmen's Bureau served newly freed slaves alongside some white refugees. Now, here we go. They were not white freedmen. It says white refugees. Now, and I don't see no Chinese freedmen up in here either. Y'all, I see white refugees. I don't see any Chinese refugees up in here. So where's people getting this that Chinese are freedmen too? I'm totally lost. I'm totally lost. And this is why I'm going over this. Okay, so again, and advocates of the law explicitly disclaimed any view rooted in modern conceptions of subordination. He says, to the contrary, they explicitly clarified that the equally sought by the law was not one in which all men shall be 6 feet high. So when I read that, I interpret it as just because you are here, right, and that you are rooted in America, this law does not mean it applies to you. Rather, it strove to ensure that freemen enjoy equal rights before the law, such that each man shall have the right to pursue his own way of life, liberty, and happiness. Now, this is what I'm holding, that when we sit down and speak with the Trump administration about our proposal, our agenda, and there be no pushback. None whatsoever when we go to sit down, because we deserve our protections, we deserve our liberty, we deserve to self-identify, we deserve to do any and everything we want to do for our people in the way that we feel works best for us, not what others think. Others want us to have programs, and that's nothing but socialism. putting everything in a program, but we're not supposed to retrieve any of our economics or our capital for our people. But we got to go beg the government for everything. No, we've got to set up our own government, right? We're going to set up our own micro government within our macro government called the United States government, right? The federal government. That's where I'm at. That's why I am advocating, and I hope you all align with me, for the reconstruction, reestablishment of our borough, our Freeman Borough. You can make it Freeman Borough. I'm trying to make it a little bit more modern to align along with what the borough of the Department of Interior. They have the Borough of Indian Affairs. We can have the Borough of Freedmen Affairs. That's where I'm at. And in the Borough of Freedmen Affairs, we have all of our different divisions. We have our own SBA department. We have our own Health and Human Services. We have our own HUD. We do not need others in our pot. And then we need everybody vetted and enumerated, right? And then therefore we can remove the immigrants from amongst us. And they cannot receive our capital and our resources. This is the only way I can see us moving. Because now they're trying to capitalize off of our identity of Black. Whether we're utilizing it as our ethnicity, they're still attempting to capitalize on it. And you'll hear them intertwining Black and African American. What up, Brooke? What up, lady? B. Sinclair, future billionaire. How you doing? So we've definitely got to understand the play that's happening here. We're not doing this. We're not playing around. This is not the time to play, right? We got to move forward. We got to let the Trump administration know, hey, we all for it, Trump. We down with you. Keep doing them executive orders. Let me find the White House executive orders on birthright citizenship. I want to go over a little of that to show you how our president is holding it down for us, y'all. We don't have, I'll stop my screen for a minute, and our Black leadership ain't doing shit. Sugar, honey, iced tea. They ain't doing nothing. They're not saying anything other than they want you on that Democratic plantation, and they want to gatekeep like the modern day, what do you call them? Slave hand. What were they on the plantation? They want to be your modern day slave holders, y'all. Okay, so let me get this. They gatekeeping us. They trying to keep us from speaking. Hence the reason why I decided to make sure I had a Freeman channel, the advocacy, because I have been working on policy for our people, and the immigrants and our Black leadership was helping them to block us because they are right? They are trying to consider them now above us as the ones that deserve these contributions or capital and resources, but not our people, right? We're not supposed to have anything. It's only for the elitists. Oh, wait a minute. Why is this? I see you, Trump. But hold on. I want to see the whole thing. That popped up. Let me stop sharing. Oh, there it goes. Let me get rid of this and I'll share again. And I will play a video with Trump where he talks about our people. And I will also highlight how he has been standing by stating that, one, we are not here, Black Americans are not here to support this not Black and brown unity, but support immigrants, right? We're not here for that. He stated it, and he speaks about how we're integral to America. So let's see. It's coming over here? Give it a minute. I want you to see this because Trump breaks it down. He's not playing. And the thing about these executive orders on birthright citizenship, he makes it known that these beings are not citizens, and they just can't waltz up in America and claim citizenship on the 14th Amendment. Now, where are our Black politicians? Where is Benjamin Crump, Al Sharpton, Ayanna Pressley? All of these beings, I know Ayanna Pressley is an attorney. I want to say Hakeem Jeffries, is he not an attorney? But anyway, y'all know Barack Obama was a constitutional attorney. Now, how Obama not helping us in these moments, right? Why didn't Obama help us even when he was in president? They definitely work for the deep state. Yes, he does. I do believe he admires us as well. OAC, great one. Yes, he does. He states it. And then you all, okay, so we got the ruling. My thing is, I'm very impressed. We got the ruling on the birthright citizenship with the Supreme Court, and he said, we're appealing this, right? And then people was like, he didn't appeal it. He ain't gonna do nothing. Instead, he came back with another play on them. And he's using the Immigration Naturalization Act, and now they upset. They still upset, right? So that's how you know there's a coup d'etat happening where the immigrants are attempting to take over America. Because why would you keep fighting the president when he's doing or aligning to make sure American citizenship is just not handed out to any and everybody, and these security breaches of allowing any and everybody on the soil? But you're gonna fight him on that. You're gonna fight him to allow illegals that most of them at this point in time, I'm starting to call them domestic terrorists. Because you on my soil and you are not here legally. So you are a domestic terrorist, and especially when you come up against me and my people. No, and we're not friends. I'm not here to fight for you. Right? That's where I'm at with it. We're giving you the opportunity to leave, go back home or to another country, but you got to get the hell up out of here. And then on top of that, we're giving you money. They're giving them money, you all. $2,600, and you still won't leave the soil? You're a domestic terrorist. You're a domestic terrorist. Yeah, Obama is Kenyan. He surely is Kenyan. He's not us. But let's get into it. Let's get into this right here. This EO, right? So Trump, Executive Order 14418. By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, the privileges of United States citizenship remains a priceless and profound gift. Since my first day in office, my administration has guarded against the risk posed by malign foreign actors who attempt to swindle American citizens by taking advantage of the generosity of our nation. Oh, Lord, he said a lot right there. He said a lot right there. So here we go, y'all. June 30th, 2026, the Supreme Court decided in Trump versus Barber that the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution extends the privilege of citizenship to children born to parents in the United States for whom no extraterritorial fiction applies. This order identifies non-exhaustively and prescribes action concerning certain categories of children of aliens who do not fall within the rule of birthright citizenship as announced by the Supreme Court. So he went back, he made sure that these beings that are foreign dignitaries, it says either parent of the person that is an alien enemy. We have right now many, we know, the terrorist organizations on this soil. And they're attempting to have babies on this soil so they can take over America, you all. And our Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson, said it's okay. Okay? She said she all for it. Now, I don't think she is. People say she is. I don't think she is. And if she is, I'm not claiming her. Okay? I'm not claiming fools. But anyway, either parent of the person is a foreign government employee, include ambassadors, persons employed by a foreign embassy or consulate that are nationals, persons employed by a foreign government in an official capacity, persons employed by an international organization that possess international organization immunity, either parent of a person engaged in commercial transaction to purchase or access birthright citizenship for the person, or engaged in fraudulent activity to obtain citizenship. We know this has been ongoing since the 90s. This has been ongoing since the 90s. When these people will come over here, get married to an American citizen, and then, have babies. Y'all hear me? This is what's happening. So again, when the parents of person engage in commercial transaction, when the parents engage in commercial transaction with a surrogate, okay, this is a part of the birth tourism. The person is born in a territory or territorial waters of the United States where citizenship is not conferred by the federal statute. This one is a huge one too. I know of beings that said, oh, my mama went into labor right over here in America. We were flying over and they had to take her to the hospital in America. So therefore, I got my citizenship, y'all. What is that? That's not naturalization. So these are the things that these immigrants will do to get citizenship to come try to take over America. This is what I'm highlighting. And then we're going to get to another, okay, we're going to get out of that EO. He made 2 of them, by the way. And they're trying to fight all of them. Just so y'all know. They're trying to fight all of these EOs that Trump is putting forth and want him to go back to the Supreme Court. So then they want the Supreme Court to weigh in on this. But again, I do believe there was a video where Stephen Miller was with Trump, and there was a reporter asking how can Trump do this without, the Supreme Court, and it was explained. First of all, he can do it without the Supreme Court because they're using the Immigration Naturalization Act, Section 215A. Let's see, Section 215A of the Immigration Naturalization Act. That is how he's able to do this. They are pulling out all stops. And I appreciate it because they are attacking us. They are attacking us, the Americans, on this soil right now. We have immigrants attacking us. And I'm going to show you how one is attacking me because he got some American citizenship. He now wants to try to tell us who we are. Who's Jamaican? I'm going to show you all just a little bit of the Immigration Naturalization Act, Section 215A. You can look at. I won't get all into that one because I want to get into how we have right now immigrants on our soil operating in our identity of African American, and then at the same time waving the flag of their nation and claiming their heritage to that country. Tell me if that's not being a traitor and treasonous, because some of them have taken oaths. And they need to be denaturalized, deported, and we know a lot of them are anchor babies. They didn't get no citizenship in the right way because their parents were illegal. We know this. Or their parents was over here on visas and didn't go back home. We know this. right? Miss Brown, oh, she's Jamaican. Now, how a Jamaican woman get on the Supreme Court before a Black American woman? You see what I'm talking about? How does a Jamaican that has no history in this country get on our Supreme Court before a Black American? Freedmen. That's why they don't want to say where she's from. That's why they scrub everything, right? Excuse me, because when they scrub everything, they know that we do our digging. They know we do our homework. We gonna know where your parents from. People keep saying that she's us, and if she's us, she's mentally sick. Okay, she's definitely sick, mental side. So back to the Section 215A of the Immigration Nationality Act grants the president broad authority to control the departure and entry of non-citizens and citizens in the United States. It makes it unlawful for any non-citizen to enter or leave the United States outside of reasonable rules, regulations, or orders prescribed by the executive branch. So again, he can set specific limitations, rules regarding how foreign nationals may enter and depart this country. Got nothing to do with the Supreme Court. Nothing to do with the Supreme Court. All of that authority is on him. And you all, it goes into talking about how he can executive action, national security, national emergencies, wartime, right? Specific geopolitical crisis. You see this? This is just an overview. She's half Jamaican at most, still not freedman. Half ain't full, baby. If you ain't full freedman, you ain't our people. That's how I roll. I'm sorry. That's what we got to draw the lines. We're seeing too many come up in these spaces and don't want to honor our ancestors, don't want to honor us. Hakeem Jeffries. Look at Hakeem Jeffries. You got it right in front of your face right now. What is he doing? He didn't join Trump on the 14th Amendment. He's fighting for immigrants. He took over. He sides with his immigrant side. He don't side with the American side, right? That all he wants to do is hold on to that American citizenship. Exactly. We have to be stern about it because we're seeing some behaviors that we'll be a fool to continue down this path and act like we don't see what's really going down, what's really happening with these others by ethnics that are now on the soil, and trying to speak for us. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the connection, the history, right? So they no. We cannot allow them. Oh, we got to be a bad guy. I don't mind being a bad guy. I'm gonna stand on mine because I'm gonna stand up. I say this, OAC, great one. I say this. I am standing up for, with, and on the shoulders of my ancestors. For I am them in this moment. Because we're going through the same thing, or maybe, I can't say the same thing, right? But I can say we're going through something similar that our ancestors went through. And it's every freaking generation. We're having to fight for something that we already fought for. It is already ours. We're a founding population of this country. We should not have to keep fighting every generation for what is ours to give to immigrants that don't have any contributions to this country, no equity in this country. And if they came here for a better life, bootstrap and do it yourself since you're so great. Do it yourself. You came here to have a better life. Nobody's stopping you from having a better life, but tagging on to us to get what is ours, to claim what is ours. No, that is domestic terrorism. And we know many of the immigrants, the European immigrants, started this off. Now with you melanated immigrants doing the same thing. And they have a closer proximity to us because of melanin. Right? That's all they can say is they got some melanin like us. So no, I don't have a problem. I don't look at it as being the bad guy. I look at it as self-preservation, prioritizing me and my people, my descendants. I'm a grandmother, right? I have a daughter. I also have nieces, nephews, cousins. We have a legacy lineage here that's been here from the very beginning. Nothing of what is ours is theirs. They can work and build their own, which they're doing. Aren't they building their own enclaves separate from us? Aren't they making sure they delineate from us when they come here on this soil? So why is it that all of a sudden, oh, we got to be all together in this pot? That's why I don't like minority. I'm not a minority, right? I'm not a minority. I'm American, and everything here is ours. You can, okay, 1860, 1910, they tripled the population here importing Easter. Yes. And they are the ones that terrorized our ancestors. They terrorized our ancestors. They're the ones that also burned down our towns and most of our towns and cities. Terrorizing, again, domestic terrorists. These immigrants are domestic terrorists. I don't care if they're legal or illegal. I'm calling them domestic terrorists. They don't like it. So be it. Leave us alone. Yep, malicious. Better term. I feel you. A better term. They are malicious. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got to understand what is at play right now. They trying to take us out. Okay, so I want to get to housing, right? Certain things that are just should be natural to us, our land, having our land and our property, housing. It should not be that we're fighting for our own housing, the basics for us in our country. That our ancestors already did this. And that's why I was highlighting Clarence Thomas. Because at the end of the day, we're supposed to be up here equal and receiving everything that's supposed to be ours. And we up here having to fight with immigrants all over again every time you turn around. Let me bring up Scott Turner. Scott Turner Hood. I'm impressed with Scott Turner. I am. And that's why I'm bringing him up. And you know what? I don't know what's going to happen with Scott Turner, but you know what? I'm leaning toward it would be nice for him to run for president. I would like for him to run for president. But hold on. We're going to see right here where he's talking about more than $1 billion in funding over 5 years for family payouts, all while homelessness in LA increased. Let's listen. Hold on, I'm gonna show you all. And guess who the homeless is? Guess who they putting on the street in LA? Y'all know who they putting on the street in LA. It sure ain't the Mexicans, the Latinos. It's not the immigrants. Who you think is homeless in LA right now? Oh, yeah, I don't mind being the bad guy. You're not going to come over here and think you just going to dictate to us. We got to stop this, you all. We got to make sure this ends today. We have a current administration in office that is working for us to reset where we get what is ours. That makes no sense. Okay, let's listen to this with Scott Turner. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Our homeless neighbors. And I learned about this is a bag that I learned that they're giving our homeless neighbors with American taxpayer dollars. And in this bag, when you go in here, we're talking about helping the most vulnerable people in our country, a continuum of care. This is not a continuum of care that I'm looking for. This is drug paraphernalia that's in this bag. This brown bag, 2 people, homeless people, that are addicted to drugs, that have mental illness, hardworking people's money. People are putting these together with their hands to give to people that are already addicted. Has nothing to do with politics. Has everything to do with caring for people properly. This is not the continuum of care that I'm looking for. It's not the continuum of care that Bobby is looking for. This is keeping people addicted and giving them a way to stay addicted, which all agree. That has to be over. That's done. This is the toolkit that they're giving out right now. But the toolkit that we're going to be talking about is a toolkit to restoration and revitalization. And I'm excited about the work that we're going to do with any viable partner that wants to come and join us in this work to do it the right way. We welcome.
Okay. All right. We're going to, I want to scroll on down because he talking about it. Scott Turner's on it. I like him, y'all. I like him. I'm partial. You can say I'm partial or whatever, but I like Scott Turner. Let's listen to what he has to say right here.
Yeah. Instead, former CEO.
$1 billion went to the Los Angeles Homeless Authority. Funding increased over 5 years. And homelessness increased seemed like a good return on investment that you found.
Indeed. And Kayla, it's always great to be with you. You know, we were in LA to shine a light, on the corruption and the fraud that LASA, using taxpayer money to what they were supposed to be doing is helping our homeless neighbors, our homeless men, women, and families. But yet, instead, there was corruption and fraud with the former CEO of LASA. They gave contracts to her husband's employer. They couldn't account for 2,300 housing spaces that they were supposed to be responsible for. They couldn't account. They didn't even know if they were paying for empty hotel rooms because they weren't tracking people as they left these motels that were supposed to be used for the homeless. And so as we came to LA, we said, you know what, enough is enough. The status quo is not good enough. President Trump, JD, Vice President Vance, our entire administration, you just saw the Attorney General and others say, man, enough is enough with the fraud and people using taxpayer dollars to do criminal activity in our country.
Okay, Eric, yes. And it boils my blood. It boils my blood that, yes, Eric says you all over here on YouTube, he says, these people are coming here stepping all over the Black community. They sure are. They surely are. And they haven't contributed anything to America. They're coming from third world nations and they have their own land that they couldn't build. And that's why I'm furious. That's why I go so hard. Because my ancestors died so we could have this today. And you think I'm going to sit here and team up with these beings? You cray-cray to me. You cray-cray to me. If you think I'm going to sit here and allow people to come in here on top of my people and take what is ours after all the sacrifices and what we had to go through. No, I don't care that they're poor. They have countries. They have every opportunity to build their country, change their government. We fight over here for what's ours. They can make sure that others don't come to their land and take over. You can make sure at the same time that you know what your government does not align with what you all want. You can take care of them too. But you think you're going to just come over here to our country, step all over us, and do what you want to do. No. It's getting hot up in here. It's getting real hot up in here. I'm not harboring no illegals. They're committing fraud and they need to be prosecuted. I'm not harboring any illegals or helping any illegals harbor illegals to give them housing, shelter, transportation, jobs, opportunities. No, I'm ready. Hey, somebody told me I done went to the far, far left, but here's my mentality, okay? Enslave them. You don't want us to get reparations? Then you want to become American? We'll show you how to become American. We can enslave you and you can work to become American like our ancestors did. Not only that, we can make sure that while you're here, that you know what, you can work for them pennies on the dollar since you want to be cheap labor. That's your opportunity. That's the opportunity I see for you, because I'm ready to starve them. I don't care. Again, we have been very humane. We have asked them to leave the country. We're giving them money to leave the country, and they still won't leave. That sounds fair to you? Okay. They mainly help people from wherever. Exactly. That's the whole thing. Okay, that's the whole thing. Get their people here. They get their numbers up, and then they want to take over. That's the game. That's the game. We'll play like we're your friends. At the same time, stabbing you in the back because they meeting over there with the Jews and the YTs. They're listening to the Jews and the YTs to go up against us. They're not trying to be with us. They're not attempting to work with us, because as soon as they get their numbers up, what do? They build their own enclaves. Okay, all right, y'all, look at this. We got to talk about this. This one right here. Great example of what I'm talking about. Great example of how they delineate themselves and then want to act like they here and they are friends. No, they're not. No, they're not. I'm going to play this. This, you all, when I saw this, woo, Lord have mercy. I said, Trump, come on now, Trump. It's in our faces. It's okay. It's okay for us to go ahead, make sure we get them dates, and let's start sitting down at the table. Let's get ready to do it. They done made it real easy for us. They have made it really, really easy. Let me find this. Wait a minute. Let me get the right one. I want to get the right one. Let me get to my bookmarks, because I want to get to let's see, history. I want to get to the real, the bookmark. Oh, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to get it. Okay. In my bookmarks. I want you all to see this. We got a lot going on in America with these Chinese, but we going to get to it. We're going to get to that, but you got to see this. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? This is what these beings are doing on our soil, at the same time talking crazy to us. And I'm just like, we cannot accept this type of behavior. No way, shape, form, or fashion should we accept this type of behavior towards us on our soil. I want to get to the right video. There's a couple videos. I got more videos on Scott Turner too. I have the video on Stephen Miller talking. Hold on. I want to get to this video. This is one to show our people exactly what's happening with these others on this soil that are humiliated. They're not here to be your friends. They're here to take over. Let me make sure this is the right video. It's the right video. Okay. All right. Let me Let me show you this. And these aren't the only ones that was doing this now. There's another video. Once I show you all this one, there's another video of I'll tell you the other group that was doing the same thing on the weekend, declaring that they're not, okay? These beings are declaring that they're not Americans. They don't have any history here. So there's no reason why they're guilty about anything we do moving forward. For those of you that do feel guilty or feel like, oh, we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that, they don't care about you, honey. They don't care. They on your soil. Or it's based on deception. Yes, it is. And that's what they've been doing. And you know what? They've had help, though. They've had help from our Black leadership. I'm with my friend. I have a friend that says, wherever there's a wheat thin, wherever there's a cracker, there's a wheat thin. They can't do this stuff without our people helping them to do it because they don't know. They're ignorant. And I say some of them are retarded. Yeah, I said it. I think a lot of them are retarded. Okay, and I'll post it out there. I'm sorry, I'm in that space, y'all. Hey, I'm all for my people, and that's it. That's where I'm at. I'm all for my people, and that's it. Okay, so here we go. I want to make sure. Can you all see the screen over there on YouTube? Because wait till you see this. This is in New York. This is in New York. Y'all already know where I'm going when I say New York, do you? You know where I'm going. These are the beings in New York taking over our spaces and our communities. And mind you, they did not have to fight for housing when they came to America. They gave them housing. They made sure they had housing. Black screen, I see you. Okay, all right. Give it a couple more minutes. See if it'll come up. They literally made sure there's a study where these beings, even when we were fighting for what is ours, they were coming over here. I do believe Shirley Chisholm highlighted in her book how, you know what? They people were getting housing when our people were fighting for housing. So they've been doing this stuff for quite a while. But now they got their numbers up. And now they think they can talk crazy to us. Now, I know the half of the island of Jamaica is on this soil right now. I see it's still black. Yep, I'll wait. Half of the island of Jamaica is on our soil, you all. They are aliens. They will always be immigrants to me. I don't care if you have citizenship. We are the Americans. We've been here. We have the equity here. We're the stakeholders, shareholders of America. We have the contributions and the accolades. Nothing here is theirs to claim. They haven't put any work in America to receive anything. If they entitled, I'm like Barbara Jordan. They feel so entitled. That's in your country. That's in their country. They're not entitled to anything here on this land, on this soil, because nothing here. They never worked for anything here. So how can you claim anything here? And then it goes back again to, oh, we work hard. Excuse me. My ancestors were enslaved for over 200 some years, and they worked from sun up to sundown. Not only that, we have all kinds of contributions. And what I mean by that, inventions, innovations that you are utilizing in this society today, despite also fighting wars for our country. That's real citizens. Those are the Americans. They'll never have any blood or sweat equity here. because they won't do anything. They're getting everything off of our backs. Everything they're receiving is off of our backs, because nothing here is theirs to claim. Okay, let me play this, you all, because this really, it really pissed me off. I sent Trump a message. I surely did. Come on now, Trump. Let's get it going. Time for us to sit down and officially delineate.
If you was born in the United States, your mother and your father was born in Jamaica, and you were born in the U.S., you are considered a Jamaican. Listen to Stephen Bashment again. If your mother was born in Kingston, and your father was born in Montego Bay, and you were born in Brooklyn, you are still a Jamaican.
I'm going to play that one more time. Y'all hear that? I'm going to make sure that everybody on YouTube.
I don't care if you was born in the United States. If your mother was born in Jamaica, and your father was born in Jamaica, and you were born in the U.S., you are considered a Jamaican. Listen to Stephen Bashment again. If your mother was born in Kingston, and you were born in Brooklyn, you are still a Jamaican.
Is that not declaring that I am a domestic terrorist? Is that not declaring I'm a domestic terrorist? Okay. Did y'all hear that? It don't matter. They delineated. Straight up delineated. Celebrating Jamaican Independence Day on the soil in America. Not in Jamaica. Not in Jamaica. But here on American soil. Waving their flags of their home nation. You all, these are the foreigners that Clarence Thomas is talking about. Most of these beings are anchor babies. We know they did not get citizenship through naturalization. Yes, they're claiming they're all invaders. That's the way I took it. They're invaders. They're enemies. They're domestic terrorists. That's all I see them as. Wait a minute. I think Trinidad and Tobago did the same thing. Let me see if I can find that video. Let me see. They were out there too, saying that, hey, I'm from Trinidad, right? They're declaring that they are invaders on the soil, waving flags of their nations. Dang, where's the video? I thought I saved that video. But they were also out there proclaiming they are national security threats. Thank you. And that's what Trump was talking about. We're seeing it in real time, how these people have been utilizing birthright citizenship. Now they're on the soil, and they are invaders, and they are national security threats. That's why I'm calling them domestic terrorists. I surely am. They are domestic terrorists. So again, we are not doing anything to anybody. They're coming over here proclaiming all these things and waving their flags. This is not us doing anything to them. This is what they're saying where they are. Has nothing to do. They can't say, oh, Black Americans, you did this to us. Oh, Black Americans, you do that to... No. You over here, and you're proclaiming your allegiance to your country on our soil, at the same time operating in our identity, whether it's race or ethnicity. Is that not some real domestic terrorism? Right? To me, it is. So let me get to this, because we got to bring up the great ancestor. We got to bring her up. We're going to listen to what she has to say, because she tried to stop this. See, a lot of this, we've done the work, but because we, the Americans, and we happen to be Black Americans, they don't want to listen to us. But you know what? They're going to pay. They having to pay. I appreciate President Trump, because President Trump, at least he's what we can say American. He's not trying to topple America. He's integral. We are to America and making America great. He stated it numerous times. He doesn't back down. Look at him and the administration continue to make sure the 14th Amendment is being applied appropriately. So again, I'm not going to go against President Trump, because he's standing on it. And he is very much making sure that America, which is us, gets back into a space that it is for Americans, and the citizenship that anybody just can't come here and claim they're American and don't actually assimilate, don't actually put anything into America. All they want to do is take. And I say immigrants and immigration is a liability to the country. They're not assets. I don't see any assets. You have to come here. We still have to feed you. We still have to give you the opportunity. We still have to make sure that you're not a national security threat. There's so many things we have to do on our end. So how in the world are you an asset? How in the world are you an asset? What are you contributing to if you're already coming here to take a job from an American? Or you're taking housing from an American. I know we may have a blank screen over there. I'm waiting for it to load up. It's a little slow today, you all in my chat. I see you, Miss Donna B. You were stationed in Panama in the 90s, and they were getting rid of them. Oh, okay. I see that. Yes, they are invaders. I'm going to continue to say that they are domestic terrorists. I'm going to label them, especially when they are operating in my identity. And then on my soil trying to tell me who I am. Oh, yeah, you're a terrorist. And I'm keep saying it. You're going to move out of my space, leave us alone, go do what you're supposed to be doing. That is bootstrapping in this capitalistic nation that is a first world superpower. You have every opportunity to create your own, but you don't have to be under my identity. You can still, since you don't want to assimilate, as we see the Muslims, right? What are the Muslims doing? They're not assimilating. We're going to get to that next, and then I'm going to get ready. I'm going to get ready to kind of shut it down. It'll be 2 hours. But I do, and I'm going to show you all what this a domestic terrorist said to me this morning. But I do want you all to hear what Barbara Jordan said way back when in 1995, before all these people started coming here, before these beings, these demons started populating our country in large numbers. Again, our people have been doing this work to make sure that we were protected. But because, they don't want to listen to us, right? But let me say this. I do believe today we have a sitting president and administration that is listening to us. And I think we need to be more verbal about what it is that we're seeing, what we're experiencing with this administration. And I guarantee you some things will happen. But as long as we think that this Black leader, SHIT, is going to do anything, it's not. It is not. Do you all hear anything from them right now? They're literally quiet. Nothing. They're trying to wait for the next play. What is the next play? Us. They already trying to move in on it. Oh, the state of Black America. Y'all didn't see that? From the Urban League, they done put out a report talking about with Trump in office, the state of Black America is going. When they did it, they did ignore her. You're right, OAC, great one. They ignored her when they should have been listening, right? But now they have no other choice but to listen to us. You see where I'm going? For us to speak, be bold, be loud to the Trump administration, and let them know we are the grassroots is the leadership of Black America. Not the Urban League, not the NAACP, not Ben Crump, not Al Sharpton, not any of those pastors from Jamal Bryant, Reverend Warnock. None of them can speak for the grassroots. We've ousted them. We're ostracizing them. They are traitors. They're traitors to us. They're traitors to the United States government. And we want them prosecuted. That's where I'm at. How you gonna leave us out here after everything that's happened, and then you descend from some of those beings that fought so hard for you to have a better life, and you gonna sit up here and squander it for the lineage, the legacy for some immigrants, aliens, invaders. Let's listen. Let's listen to this. I'll replay.
The Commission finds no national interest in continuing to import lesser skilled and unskilled workers to compete in the most vulnerable parts of our labor force. Many American workers do not have adequate job prospects. We should make their task easier to find employment, not harder. Immigration is not a right guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution to everyone anywhere in the world who thinks they want to come to the United States. Immigration is a privilege. It is a privilege granted by the people of the United States to those we choose to admit.
Numbers USA was created the year that Barbara Jordan died in 1996. We've been advocating for her recommendations ever since. I thank you for all that you do to continue to advocate for sensible immigration policies.
All right, I'm gonna play that one more time, one more again. Okay, one more again. We want to get
the Commission finds no national interest in continuing to import lesser skilled and unskilled workers to compete in the most vulnerable parts of our labor force. Many American workers do not have adequate job prospects. We should make their task easier to find employment, not harder. Immigration is not a right guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution to everyone anywhere in the world who thinks they want to come to the United States. Immigration is a privilege. It is a privilege granted by the people of the United States to those we choose to admit.
Numbers USA was created the year that Barbara Jordan died in 1996. We've been advocating for her recommendations ever since. I thank you for all that you do to continue to advocate for sensible immigration policies.
I'm no longer supporting any kind of immigration policies. I want to shut it down. Shut it down for 100 years. I don't care at this point in time. Because everything here is ours. And we should be able to excel and elevate. Every time you turn around, we're having to deal with immigrants and immigration that keeps us in this perpetual cycle. And we shouldn't be in this perpetual cycle. It's crazy. It's insane. It is insane that we are in this perpetual cycle as other beings come in our country on top of us and they don't do anything. They haven't contributed anything. And then they have their own nations. Like, it blows my mind. I'm still trying to understand this concept. Other than, let's make the Americans the target so we can take over America. And who are the Americans? No one can tell us we're not the Americans. Even your Supreme Court Justice hit it right on, nail on the head, Clarence Thomas. Broke it down for you to understand. You're the American. Right? Nothing here is owed to these beings. Nothing is owed to them on this soil. And there's nothing they're entitled to on this soil. Now, I'm going to show you all this. Y'all, Chinese are so supposedly so intelligent. Another demographic coming over here, trying to take over. Another demographic coming over here, trying to get in, to come take over America, take over your land. That's another demographic. Not only do we have the melanated, we have the albinoids, and we got the Asians, y'all. We're the target. Here's what it is, but we're the target. I want you all to see this. They are finding Chinese spies all throughout our American government. They are everywhere. And okay, all right. So let's look at it like this. Okay. We know that the Chinese came over, and you'll have people talk about, the Chinese, they came over here. Well, somebody done told me they were slaves too, so they were freedmen. First of all, cray. But anyway, not only did they came over here, they built certain parts of the railroad, but guess what, you all? They got paid. So how are they slaves in America? They got paid. And I don't care if the Chinese government took their money, they got paid, right? Okay. So along with that, they didn't build all the railroads that some of them want to claim now, like they have a stake in America. But the other thing that is happened is, again, we fought, our ancestors, elders fought for civil rights action. Now that they done had made their come up and they making money, they no longer want to utilize affirmative action and went against it, right? And then they don't vote. They do not vote. But yet and still they got policies and they in politics. Y'all help me out. Help me to understand this. How are we doing all the work and everybody else continues to benefit? How does this make sense? And I got to find, here we go. I got to find where they are in Massachusetts, making sure that they create commissions for the Arabs, the Muslims. Oh yeah. Oh boy, it's a lot going on. But let's look at this. I see it's up over here on YouTube. Exclusive. Chinese spies built a secret nuclear war back channel between former U.S. military chiefs and a blacklisted Chinese nuclear weapons research center. Come on, y'all. And we already know they trying to buy up all of the American land. And they're buying land next to our military bases. Immigrants everywhere in our backyard. All up in our business, trying to take over our politics. This is why I named this Wake Up. Immigrants are in the takeover. Oh, we know, yes, Miss Donna. I talked about that too. They do cheat in education. And I wouldn't doubt they got some fake degrees too. I believe they have some fake degrees too. We know that but look, you all, most of the innovations and inventions here in America have come from us. Now, if the Chinese were so great here in America, why is it that we don't see them creating and innovating? And why are they spying on us in America to create and innovate? They spy on us to take it back to China and then sell it back to us. Right? That's what's going on. But look at this. We already knew this was happening. We already knew 1,000 Chinese people have engaged in fake marriages for green cards. Come on now, I'm gonna play this one. I will play this one so you all can.
Citizens of the United States, we are announcing the arrests and unsealing of an indictment out of the Southern District of New York, overseeing an extensive, decade-long marriage fraud scheme involving more than 1,000 sham marriages between Chinese nationals and United States citizens, and then the submission of fraudulent applications for green cards. This is one of the largest marriage fraud prosecutions in United States history. This scheme was not a quick fly-by-night operation, but rather a years-long, multi-million-dollar cottage industry to criminally assist people who would not legally could not otherwise become citizens of the United States. We are announcing the arrests and unsealing of it. We are announcing.
Hey, you all heard it. Decades long. Decades. Dates is at least what, 10 years or more? All for American citizenship. So that means, again, we're being attacked on all fronts from immigrants to try to take over America, whether it's the Chinese, whether it's Jamaicans, whether it's, at this point in time, hey, we say Jews because they're not from here. A lot of them are not us, right? We got them all on the soil at this point in time, trying to take down America. And then want to say America was built by immigrants. Right? And okay, I'm not going to stop here. I got to show you this. Let me see. Did it scroll on down over here on the YouTube? Look at this. I want y'all to see this. Look, I want you got to see this. I don't know who this congressman is, but do y'all see this? Chinese nationals worked inside the United States congressional offices through a program participants described as citizen external propaganda. Now, these could be positions for our children that are in college learning more about politics and government, but instead look who he up with. Look at who they next to in politics. In America. Danny Davis from Chicago. We know Chicago corrupt. Lord have mercy. Yep, there he is. Not one, but two. He just making sure he keeps the Chinese in rotation. And I don't see no Black American, but they got the Chinese up in the offices. And we know we got plenty of our youth in college that would love this opportunity. We know we have plenty of our youth that are willing to get into politics and would love this opportunity. You see where I'm going? And he ain't nothing but SHIT. Sugar, honey, iced tea. That's all he is. Shit. As my friend says in Chicago, that's a nigga vampire. I said it. I usually don't use the N word, but that's what that is. Look at that. This stuff has made me so mad, you all. My blood is boiling. The extent that they're going through to keep us from what is ours, so we can have a good life right now for our people and our children and our lineage. This is what's happening. I'm tired. I'm not finna go into another 10 years trying to make sure that we have what's ours. No, let's get rid of them. So I just started following Miss Natalie Winters. She's usually out on what's his name? Steve Bannon's channel. I just started following her. She got all the good information. She had Steve. Hey, at this point in time, even Steve Bannon, I'm giving them props. They come with good investigation. But I want to get to also, look at this. All these schools, colleges allowing all these immigrants to come in under visas and get in position. I want to get to, let me see. I think Miss Natalie Winters has where she talks about the Muslims. They're now in Massachusetts. Let me find that so I can show y'all. They're now in Massachusetts making way for the Muslims to be able to get into political positions, you all. Now our ancestors had to fight just to be in politics, was disenfranchised in every aspect of, even though we knew them, killed them, threatened them, did everything in their power to keep our people from being in politics. And now they rolling out the red carpet for these immigrants. Okay, I'm getting to the end of the live. I guess I'll end up at 2:30. By 2:30, I'll be done, or 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. But here it is. Miss Natalie Winters uncovered this. Look at this. Breaking. Massachusetts moves to create a Muslim commission to help place Muslims in government and shape state policy. Yes, you got Somalis in great point, Miss Robin. Somalis elected Ilhan Omar. They taking over in Minnesota, changed the flag, doing everything. And you're right, Miss Donna, that's why they had the Chinese over there. They spying on everything. They getting the vital information. So they know every move to make. Then they got them in those colleges as research professors, getting all the information. And then we know that the CCP has been able to retrieve our voter registration or information from our voters in America. I think I disclosed that on one of my lives. Yes, we got to stand up in this mass and get loud. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly why I'm holding. I said I have to come today and hold this live. I know tomorrow and the weekend I'm busy, but I'm like, I got to get back to the lives to get the messaging out. We've got to get the messaging out to our people. And now you got the Democrats like Joanne Reed and Roly Poly and all of them. You all listen to them. They using our talking points. They're old talking points, but they're now using our talking points. Listen to them. Yes, they're setting up for the New World Order. They want to get in after the election, the midterms, get in and to impeach Trump. And then they take over and continue what they were doing. So we as Americans have got to step it up. And we got to step it up in making sure, one, that we secure things for ourselves, our collective as freedmen. We've got to do this because playing around, this is not the time to play around and joke around with these people in spaces. I'm not their friend. They're my enemy. I'm not trying to sit and be friendly with my enemy. And you'll hear them say, well, it's not all of them. At this point in time, I don't care if it's not all of them. It's the majority of them. And the majority, guess what? To me is all. Majority equals all. If the majority is larger than the minority that are not doing it, I'm going with the majority. And the majority of them are coming to take over America and then use classism and make us a permanent bottom class in our country. And we were warned. We were warned by our great elders from Dr. Claude Anderson, and I'm going to have to also put Dr. Carol Swain in that. Because they did write books, they did talk about it, they tried to let our people know. And then, okay, I can even go back further, right? We already had ancestors that was telling us immigration was bad. From A. Philip Randolph to Frederick Douglass. Initially, Frederick Douglass was for immigration. He changed his mind. We have a lot of ancestors that was a Coretta Scott King. Toni Morrison literally wrote an article in Time magazine talking about how they come here and get everything off of our backs in 1993. When are we going to listen? When are we going to do something right now with this administration and let them know, hey, we down with you. Let's get it going. Right? And then making sure, first and foremost, we take care of ourselves. That means delineate, ethno-aggregate, separate from these immigrants. Period. Take what is ours from them. It is not theirs. Look at this. Okay, I'm going to get back to this. Massachusetts moves to create a Muslim commission to help place Muslims in government and shape state policy. The bill orders it to identify and recommend qualified American Muslims for appropriate positions at all levels of government. Yes, Eric. Yes, it is the black misleader shit causing us this error. We don't see them standing up right now, do we? We don't see them doing anything right now, do we? You all, and then in this, let me move around a little bit. She goes a little bit deeper and finds out that a lot of states and local governments are doing this. It just so happened Massachusetts was breaking and doing it now, but other state governments are doing this. So we have to understand that there is an immigrant takeover of America. There's an attempt of an immigrant takeover of America, and they are making sure that they place these immigrants before us, the Americans. So hey, at the end of the day, they don't care nothing about us. And in anybody trying to come up here when the majority of them are moving like this, gonna try to tell us anything different, we cannot listen to that. Actions speak louder than words. That's where I'm at. The rhetoric that they're taking over states, no American should feel like we can't go to states being made unwelcome in our country. Exactly, culture media. Exactly. And that's what's happening. Okay, I see you, Eric. There's a strong religious factor involved in this, right? That's that First Amendment of the Constitution, right? They can tell us that we don't have a right to our reparations, but the First Amendment applies to us in that, right? To file grievances against our government. But now they want to use their religious freedom, a religion in America, to get into position. Well, guess what? I'm not Christian. I got my own religion too. Black folks, we have our own religions, don't we? Can we now? Y'all see where I'm going with this? If they gonna create a commission for them based on their religion. Guess what? I have a religion too, and Black Americans need our commission created for our religion based on our religious freedom too. How many of us want to get together and make sure it's declared that we have our own, which we do? We have some other religions, right? I'm just not going to call it out on this live, but y'all know where I'm going. You following me? We have our other religions that we can go up in there and demand the same thing as Americans. And then we get more than they get because guess what? We, the Americans. That's where I'm at. You two can play this game, buddy. Two can play this game. Let me get to, let's see, before I shut it down. Oh, okay. So we got the Muslims. I want to show y'all this Congolese immigrant. He was so excited. He had United States citizenship, but he thought he could go check us on our lineage and us being, I think it was Miss Evans. Let me find it. Miss Evans was talking about, and she's a young lady that I know that is American Indian, and she's an advocate of American Indian, right? Policy and things of that nature. But anyway, this being comes into our conversation because I was backing her up. He comes into our conversation and decides that he's gonna try to tell us that we are not, our people can't be Cherokee or American Indian. Now, I want you all, I'm highlighting this demonic being because one, he's African from the Congo. Okay? African from the Congo, up in our business, trying to tell us who we are in our country, and he on our land done got citizenship here in America. This is how they move. This is how they move. Domestic terrorism. And they done got a passport. He done got citizenship here. And now he gonna try to dictate to us who we are on our land, on our soil. Let me find what he said, because this is where I'm just like, oh, no. Eric, you don't know that the Africans are now begging for our reparations? You didn't know that, Eric? Oh, yeah, buddy. Oh, they talking about, oh, America owes them. America owes them too. That's what they're saying now. They have a whole Pan-African scam going on with some of our Black leader shit. They surely do. Okay, here we go. You also, I was with, okay, I will share the screen so you can see the whole interaction, or most of the interaction of what we had with this being conversation on X, and decide that he can tell us who we are and that we are not American Indian, or some of us are not American Indian, okay? Just slaves of the American Indians, y'all. Oh yeah, Africa owes us, but the thing about it is we got Black leadership that is now teamed up with the scamming fraudulent, which they fraudulent too, with the scamming fraudulent African nations like Ghana to push that they too deserve reparations from the American government. That's what's happening right now with the whole reparations thing. So for me, I'm on another kick. I want to make sure that we have our equity and sustainability, right? We have our equity and sustainability. Some other things will come down the pipeline. But right now, I think it's important for us to make sure that all of our resources, that they're now taking our capital and our resources, they're taking and reallocating it to immigrants. And just like Clarence Thomas was talking about how they're repurposing the 14th Amendment. This is what's happening, so then they can take over America. And I see a black screen, but let's see how long it takes to come up. And I'll scroll down and I'll show you all this. And then we'll get ready to close out, because I'm going to do the petition. And I will show you where the Urban League stated in their letter that with us delineating that it will confuse the immigrants, but in reality, they're giving the immigrants space to get into position to basically make us a permanent underclass and allow these third worlders to come in on our backs and retrieve all of our resources. That's the game plan. That's the game plan. And then everybody have to get to make money off of us. You see where I'm going? Okay. All right. Okay. So, and I'm getting, please wait. I see you guys got it over on YouTube. Now I'm getting a warning. I hope you all, let's see. I see everything's up. It says, warning my connection label. But anyway, and I'm going to get ready to get off. It's almost 2.5 hours. So, okay. So this is the actual interaction between me and, or Miss Evans. She's out here on the internet. We've had engagements and things of that nature, right? So she's talking about the freedmen. Okay. So we here you see she has someone here that is a Creek freedman. And he's an Indian, right? Whether he's, we know a lot of us have American Indian ancestry. So here I am, I back her up and I say, yep, there's Cherokee freedmen, right? Okay. All right. Just letting everybody know. All right. Here we go. Here we go. This is Foo Priest. He's a foo, right? Anyway, a fool. You were slaves to the Indians. I'm being nice. I'm being nice. This isn't your battle to tell us who we are or our experiences on our soil. We have ancestors that are American Indian. Why aren't you going to go do what we aren't going to do is allow African immigrants think they can tell us our genealogy on our soil. Look where he's from. The Congo. The Congo. Joanne Reed is from the Congo too. I think her parents are Guyanese and Congolese. Okay. And she's always speaking in our spaces. Is she not? Okay. So here we go. Here he is. You're just mad because you're not truly Native Indian. Otherwise, you would not be 70-80% African gene. If blacks were enslaved by these native tribes, you're coping. Okay, so didn't the dang Africans sell their own people? I see you, cultural media. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Black immigrants, not Africans. All of them have had help here in America. So here she plays again. She plays a video about her testimony. But, you know, I went on about my business, right? And then he gonna say this. Won't say what tribe you're from, right? Come on, Pocahontas. Y'all see this? This is domestic terrorism. This is domestic terrorism. No one should be questioning us about our ancestry, genealogy on our soil in our country when we've been here for over 400 years. Okay? So he wants to argue with us. I think what I did, okay. He tells me I have a hard time keeping up. Oh, here we go. I'm a U.S. citizen. And then you all, he had the nerves to make sure he showed me that he had a passport, an American passport. Okay? Domestic terrorism. This is what it looks like for us. Immigrants are attacked from Africa, are attacking us on our genealogy and who we are in our homeland. Trying to tell us that we can't be American Indian. Mind you, they don't even know the history, won't even read and learn American history. But you're going to try to tell us who we are because you African and now you on our soil and you got a passport here. Where did he show me he had a passport at? Hold on, let me, and I usually don't highlight these crazies, these dum-dums, these retarded beings. But today, because we have to show the people how they are coming over here and attempting to take over, dictate to us who we are in our spaces, thinking they can tell us what we can do, what we can't do on our soul. Look at this. He asked me if I travel. Fool, I done traveled for 20 years of my life, and I guarantee you, I done been a lot of places you will never, ever go. Because I work with the United States military, Department of Defense. Y'all see that? He had to show me he had an American passport. He's so happy. Took him exactly, it took him long enough to get the language right. That's all he kept posting, y'all. So I had to show you all that because this is what they're doing. They will come into our spaces, whether it's on X, whether it's on TikTok, and they say that we're attacking them. But in reality, they started attacking us, trying to tell us who we are, who we aren't in our country. And then we know they've been trying to make us African, right? You saw he said we're 70, 80% African, so we should be African. No, we don't have any census paperwork that ever identified us as African. African American is not on our birth certificates as well. And that was Jesse Jackson's, again, black leader shit, messing up things for us in our country. Right? Again, the gatekeepers. They've been a major part of our downfall, and we have to hold these beings accountable. We have to hold them accountable. It's getting ugly. It's getting real ugly, you all. We got to do something. So I'm advocating for us to go ahead and make sure we inform the Trump administration. We down with y'all. We're ready to get it popping. Let's be loud that we are down with Trump and the administration, and then also letting the Trump administration know what we want for our people. And that meaning that with delineation, we separate from all of these. And I'm gonna bring it up. We have the petition. You all please sign it. You can read over it. I've gone over it, but at the same time, you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. But I'm about advocating for us right now, getting what is ours with this administration, which means we reconstruct, reestablish our own Bureau of Freedmen Affairs, and then take all of our capital and resources for us into one pot for our people. And I know that we may have Creek freedmen, we may have Cherokee freedmen, we may have Creole, we may have Gullah Geechee, we may have wherever our people fall up under, Black, African American, Solon, FBA. But you know what? At the end of the day, we're all freedmen. And anybody that says, oh no, my people, we were free people of color, or we were free man, guess what? You're still our people. Because when they created the Bureau of Freedmen Affairs, you were refugees, so you were still under the Bureau of Freedmen Affairs, or the Freedmen Bureau, right? So no white people. They're not refugees, and we're not in that space anyway right now. They were only refugees. We're talking about reconstructing this for us, reestablishing this for us. And I just want to say that we have a Treasury annex named Freedmen with our government right now. Marriage and by blood. All of those people mix marriage. Yes. Con job is to exploit our lineage, identity, FBA history, and historical accomplishment. No stolen valor. Exactly. We're not doing this. You didn't put in any work. You hadn't been here. You don't deserve anything. It's really that simple. Since we work so hard, we hard workers. Boy, you going over there and work, but you can't be working to come take what's ours, because we already did that work. Let me see. I know it was a black screen over here on YouTube. I'm going to go into this to show you all something. I want to get to the letter from Mark Morial and show you all where he speaks about how with us, when we went to the OMB to make sure we delineated from the immigrants, that he took the stance, or the Urban League took the stance, that they didn't want to confuse the black immigrants. How can they be confused? You all just saw how they delineate themselves, right? Didn't we just see Jamaicans celebrate their Jamaican Day Parade, independence in America? How are we confusing them? They know exactly who they are, where they from. That man said it don't matter if your mama was born in Kingston or your mama was born in America. You're Jamaican. Did he not? And the Trinidadians did the same thing. I gotta find that video, but they did the same thing. So how is it that we confusing anybody when they are immigrants to this soil? They know their people, just like we know our people. Okay, let me see if this comes up and we'll close out. And reestablish it, yes, ma'am. Then we can enumerate our own people, right? We can have our own divisions, departments where people come for their information. They can come file their claims or loans and make sure banks are designated as Freedmen banks. So then when you go get a mortgage, then your mortgage will go through a Freedmen bank, a Black-owned American bank. You all see how this can come together and be collective for us and not have everybody else in our pot? Because that's what's happening. We don't have all of our resources centrally located, but you notice that they're making sure they get their resources centrally located only for their people? Is this not what they're doing? And our people already had been in the process of doing that for us, and then they disrupted it. The immigrants disrupted it. Some of our government officials disrupted it. Our Freedmen banks were corrupted. The whites corrupted our bank, took the money, lost our ancestors' money. That's their wealth. And to me, that's a part of the reparations. That's a part of the harm. Using race is a part of the harm. Right now, using race is harming our people because we see immigrants coming over here operating in our identity, retrieving our resources, and that's fraud. So you know what? We need to make sure that they are prosecuted for that. That's another way to get them off the soil. You're talking to me. I'm finding every way. I'm gonna find, and my grandmama taught me, where there's a will, there's a way. And now we're gonna find a way to get them out of our pot. We surely are. What they loaned our money out and it went to building DC and the railroads. Yes. And then they lost some of the money too, because they invested it in the railroads, right? And it didn't take off. Yeah. So we're going to retrieve all of that. And then to have an African Development Foundation in our government, and we don't even have an office in our federal government. Y'all see the difference? They got offices for new Americans, cities for action to help immigrants get settled in this country. But the Black American that keeps being harmed by immigration and immigrants get nothing after all the work that we've done for this country? Our homeland? Bootstrapping? We haven't received anything from the government. We had to fight for affirmative action. Okay, is it still a black screen on your end on YouTube? That's the only thing I'm waiting for it to come up. Of course, I see one thing on my screen, but on my other machine, I do not see it coming up. They are exploiting us, taking over our cultural spaces while talking shit at the same damn time. Yes. Yes, they are. And that's what I tell them. I tell them all the time, you're going to have to fight me for America, baby. You're going to have to fight me. You're going to have to shed blood up in here. My people shed blood. It's no thing for us to shed blood over here. So you want to take over? Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. That's where I'm at. We're not afraid. We're the warriors and patriots of this country. They don't know, though. They don't know. They're going to find out, though. They're going to find out real soon how we work. But anyway, that wrath of the Black American is no joke. The wrath of the freedmen, aka Black Americans, is no joke. And many of us are becoming really, really fed up. And more of us become really, really fed up. It's not going to look pretty for a lot of these beings on this soil. So here's the petition. I want you all to see this petition that I have. I've had it up for a couple years. But this is for the Trump administration. We created this right before Trump administration began the run for presidency in 2024, right? And so we know that Trump honored the Lumbee tribe. He honored them. He met with them, and they said, "Hey, we want to make sure that we are a part of the Office of Indian Affairs." And he said, "You vote for me, we'll make it happen." Guess what? They voted for him, and he made it happen. Okay? He signed an executive order. The executive orders go into bill. So most likely it's been slid into some type of bill to make it formal, and they're done. They're done. They're now formally acknowledged, right? We still have our Creek freedmen that are attempting to be acknowledged by the Creek tribe, even though they won in Supreme Court. So basically, they really should be receiving their benefits as well. We know the Cherokee Nation, if you all have that lineage and you can prove it, they are accepting us now, okay? And I will let you all know. Maxine Waters, Cherokee holding card holder. Judge Joe Brown, Choctaw card holder. Okay. Jesse Jackson was also a Cherokee holding card holder. Okay. Y'all see where I'm going? All of these beings know this and got their cards and getting their benefits from their American Indian side, but talking crazy to us as Black American freedmen. I just want to put that out there. That's that Black leader shit, okay? But I'm going to go to Mark Morial's letter. I want you all to be able to, I'm going to read a little of his letter. Let's see. Do I have to stop sharing? Let's see what comes up. Now it's here in the petition, but I'm going to read. You can click on that link and get to it. But he literally states, I'm going to go on down here to where he states that these immigrants, because of the census and what we were doing at that time, that they will be confused, and that the census needs to be able to include them in some way. as black, you all, under race. He wants to keep them in with us. He wants everything and how we move to align with the immigrants. And we're not doing that. Here it is. I'm going to read this, but you all can click on the link and go to it. Collection of race and ethnicity information using one combined question. Black immigrants represent at least 10% of the Black population, a rapidly growing percentage. In addition, racially diverse immigrants from Latin and South America increasingly comprise persons of African descent, including Afro-Hondurans, Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Caribbeans, i.e. Haitians, while the United States Census Bureau places Haitians as non-Spanish, non-English speaking, predominantly Black population, squarely in the Black category. So he is, again, advocating that these beings come under us and be attached to us. Here he states, as an example, Republican state officials in both Alabama and Louisiana are calling for narrow definitions of Blackness that do not include African Americans who also identify with another racial group. So he states states officials have argued for the definition of Black to only include Black who checked off either Black or alone and Black and white. But the U.S. Supreme Court weighed in on the decision. So they are still advocating to operate in race and include these beings under the racial categories. Y'all, they are saying that these people are Black. The Census Bureau encoding process relating to Black populations has the potential of civil rights enforcement and voting rights protections. Come on now. Come on. He's including them as us and that they have these same protections. No, they don't. I'm sorry. No, they don't. They didn't fight for nothing. Go fight for it. I'm not fighting for them. No way, shape, form, or fashion. And race is, again, a race is a social construct, and it is not, it's pseudoscience, it's not biology, it's not genetics, and there's no reason why these beings should be included in our categories. And then again, they don't have the history of race in America. So with that, you all, I'm gonna leave it there. Please review the petition. I'm encouraging you to please sign, because then when we do speak with the Trump administration, more of us that align with the vision and they know that we have a lot of our grassroots that align with what we're doing, then it says, hey, the people are behind this. The people want this. This is what the people want, okay? So, and we want to make sure we are delineating ourselves from all others. There's no reason why we should be in a pot with immigrants that just got here, that haven't contributed anything to America. And they can bootstrap. We bootstrap. What's wrong with that? It's a capitalistic nation. Some of them come over here with money anyway. A lot of them are participating in fraud and drugs and stuff anyway. So with that, you all, I had to bring this to you today because I had a lot going on. I'm like, oh no, we got to talk about this. We have got to talk about it. I'll attempt to do another live. I know I'm traveling again next weekend, but if something comes up, I will attempt to do a live again on Thursday. If not, you'll see me the following weekend or following week on Thursday or Friday. So with that, I appreciate you all joining me and supporting me. And I'll say this, in the meantime, in between time, you stay safe, and I look forward to us doing it again. All right. Have a good one. Thank you.